We've seen already in your first two matches here that you're adding in some new tools. We're starting to see the drop shot a little bit more. Is that something that we're going to see in 2026, Coco? Maybe something you worked on in the offseason to add a new dimension to your game?
I don't know. We'll do like 2 minutes at the end of practice with them, and then honestly, the drop shot, it's always a bad idea in my head, and then I make it, and I'm like, oh, okay, that was good. I saw Carlos yesterday, and I was like, I'm trying to drop shot like him. In my first match, I won like 7 drop shot points.
Listen to this. Coco Gauff just straight up admitted she's been copying Carlos Alcaraz's signature move, the drop shot. She watched him play, got inspired, and decided she was going to unleash it just like him. The result? She won every single drop shot point in her second round match. 7 drop shot winners in round 1. Unreal precision. Then round 2, flawless execution again. Her coach actually warned her not to go for drop shots on pressure points. Did she listen? Nope, ignored him entirely. Now the question is, will Gauff's drop shot rise to Alcaraz-level deadly, or is this just a hot streak? Drop your prediction in the comments.
I think everyone here today would agree that that was a pretty flawless performance. You played some incredible tennis, but you are the ultimate perfectionist. You're very critical on yourself. Is this the type of match that you can agree that you played really well and there's no negatives?
Except the backhand, I missed at 40.
All right.
I missed the backhand at 40 love to go up 5-0, but other than that, it was perfect.
Coco Gauff just crushed Olga Danilovic 6-2, 6-2 in the second round of the Australian Open. And wait for this, the post-match interview dropped something absolutely wild. Gauff revealed she's been studying Carlos Alcaraz, watching his drop shot, and deliberately working it into her own game, and it's paying off big time. Here's exactly what she said in her on-court chat with Chris Eubanks. Honestly, the drop shot always feels like a risky move in my head, and then I hit it and I'm like, oh, that actually worked. I watched Carlos yesterday and thought, I'm going to try dropping shots like him. In my first match, I landed 7 drop shot points, which I'd never done before, and today, I won every single one I tried. It's a solid weapon until I mess up.
Your first two matches here that you're adding in some new tools. We're starting to see the drop shot a little bit more. Is that something that we're going to see in 2026, Coco? Maybe something you worked on in the offseason to add a new dimension to your game?
I don't know. We'll do like 2 minutes at the end of practice with them, and then honestly, the drop shot, it's always a bad idea in my head, and then I make it, and I'm like, oh, okay, that was good. I saw Carlos yesterday, and I was like, I'm trying to drop shot like him. In my first match, I won like 7 drop shot points, which I don't think I ever done. And then today, I won like all of them that I did. So it's a good shot until I miss it. And then my coach told me, don't go drop shot on pressure points. And I think almost every time I drop shot it today was on a pressure point, and it works.
Let's break down why this is absolutely huge. The drop shot has never been a major weapon in Gauff's arsenal. She's built her game on insane court coverage, elite defense, and grinding opponents down with sheer consistency and athleticism. The drop shot used to be just a little surprise tactic, something she'd sprinkle in for variety. But now, she's actively hunting it, studying Alcaraz, the drop shot king of men's tennis, and trying to copy his magic. And the results are instant and jaw-dropping. 7 drop shot winners in her first round match against Kamila Rakimova. Flawless execution again in her second round demolition of Danilovic. That's not luck. That's a player leveling up by studying the best. And here's the funniest part. She's ignoring her coach's advice about pressure points. He specifically told her not to use drop shots in those moments. And what did Gauff do? Nearly every drop shot today came on a pressure point, and it worked like a charm.
Little birdie told me that your dad dominated in mini golf. Your mom was obviously the MVP of the escape room. Who is...
She was not. What? No, that's not true, but okay.
Who is the most competitive person in your family, and sometimes do you find competing even in a tournament to be a bit of a benefit for you?
Yeah, yesterday we did cards and I won. But I did lose to my dad in mini golf. He won like $50, so that was good. But honestly, the most competitive person in my family has to be my youngest brother. He's had some meltdowns with us, and we're 10 years apart, so I don't do him any favors. I treat him like he's my age because he has to learn, grow up. So I think Cameron is the most competitive, and then probably me.
Tough love from Coco Gauff. Well, we'll see you in the third round. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Coco Gauff.
That's peak Coco Gauff energy right there. Being told not to do something, doing it anyway, and having it land perfectly. Chef's kiss. The confidence to ignore your coach's tactical advice in the heat of the moment because you trust your instincts. That's what separates good players from great ones. Gauff is just 21, and she's already operating with that level of court awareness and decision-making autonomy. The connection between Gauff and Alcaraz goes way beyond the drop shot. Former WTA pro Andrea Petkovic recently compared the two on the Renee Stubbs tennis podcast, highlighting their insane mentality. I honestly think it's amazing with Coco, similar to Carlos Alcaraz, that they can have a rough day but still dig deep with this incredible mentality to fight through, Petkovic said. She pointed to Gauff's United Cup performances as proof. Coco struggled against Jessica Bosas Mano, serving 13 double faults and making tons of unforced errors, but just 3 days later, she delivered one of the best matches I've ever seen her play against Gauff. That ability to bounce back from a terrible match and instantly play elite tennis, that's classic Alcaraz. The comparison actually makes total sense. Both are young superstars who've already won multiple Grand Slams. Both have lightning-fast, athletic games built on speed and court coverage. Both play with joy and energy that's infectious. And both can compartmentalize losses, moving on instantly without letting them crush confidence. Gauff has openly admitted she draws inspiration from Alcaraz's mindset. Last year, during her French Open run, she revealed she was trying to adopt his philosophy of enjoying tennis and life more. That approach paid off big time when she won Roland Garros, beating Aryna Sabalenka in the final. Fun fact, Alcaraz took the men's singles title that same year. Making the parallel even sharper, the two have spent time off the court together too. They famously explored the Forbidden City in Beijing before both taking home titles at the 2024 China Open. Clearly, there's mutual respect and admiration for each other's games. Now, Gauff is actively studying Alcaraz's tactics and weaving them into her own arsenal. The drop shot is especially fascinating as a tactical weapon for her because it targets one of the few gaps in her game. Gauff's court coverage is insane. Opponents struggle to hit winners past her. She tracks down balls that should end points and flips defense into offense. But that brilliance can make her predictable sometimes. Opponents know she'll get everything back, so they just swing harder and harder, trying to overpower her. The drop shot completely flips that script. If they expect Gauff to be camped on the baseline, a perfectly timed drop shot leaves them frozen, too far back to recover. The point ends instantly. And once Gauff establishes the drop shot as a real threat, it opens the entire court for her. Opponents now have to stay closer to the baseline to defend against it, which makes her passing shots even more lethal. Alcaraz is the perfect player to study for drop shot mastery because he dominates both defensive and offensive versions. The defensive drop shot is when you're scrambling on the run and drop it short to buy time to recover. Alcaraz does this flawlessly. The offensive drop shot is when you're controlling the point and use it to finish it immediately. Alcaraz is even deadlier at this one. What makes his drop shot so lethal is disguise. He sets up his forehand exactly the same every time. Whether he's blasting a winner down the line or feathering a drop shot cross court, the prep is identical. By the time the opponent realizes, it's too late. That's the level Gauff is aiming for. Winning 7 drop shot points in her first match is huge. It shows she's not just tossing them randomly. She's reading the moment, executing cleanly, and forcing errors or winners. For some players, 7 drop shots in one match would be a career highlight. For Gauff, it's just the start of making this weapon permanent. Her second-round match against Danilovic proved it wasn't luck. She won every drop shot point she attempted, every single one. That's not coincidence. That's a player who's studied, practiced, and knows exactly when to pull the trigger under pressure. And the pressure point detail is key. Gauff's coach told her not to use drop shots on pressure points, but she did anyway, and it worked. Pressure points are those moments when the score is tight, break points loom, and one point can swing the game or set. Most players default to their safest shot here. For Gauff, that would normally be a deep forehand or her backhand. But she's using the drop shot in those exact moments, and it's working because no one expects it. They're expecting Gauff to grind out the rally, wear them down, and force an error. Instead, she ends the point instantly with a drop shot they can't even reach. That's next-level tactical thinking from a 21-year-old. Another fascinating detail from her interview was her self-assessment of the only imperfection in her match. When asked if it was flawless, she said, "Except the backhand I missed at 40 love to go up 5-0, but other than that, it was perfect." That's the mindset of a champion. She wins 6-2, 6-2, dominates from start to finish, and the only thing on her mind is one missed shot. That perfectionism fuels improvement. It's why Gauff keeps adding weapons like the drop shot. Even after multiple Grand Slam titles, she's never satisfied, always finding ways to elevate her game and make herself harder to beat. The stats put her Australian Open run into perspective. Since 2022, she's 14-0 in second-round Grand Slam matches, joining only Aryna Sabalenka, Iga Swiatek, and Alina Svitolina with that record. She's won 39 consecutive Grand Slam matches after taking the first set, with her last loss in that scenario to Amana Anisimova at Wimbledon 2022. Those numbers scream consistency and mental toughness. Gauff doesn't let up when ahead. She closes out matches efficiently and moves on. Her next opponent is fellow American Hailey Baptiste in the third round, a rematch from 2023 that Gauff already won. Baptiste is solid, but not on Gauff's level. This is another chance for Gauff to sharpen her drop shot against live competition. The bigger question, are her rivals already feeling the pressure? She's one of the best defenders in women's tennis. Her forehand has improved, her serve is more reliable, and now she has a drop shot she's willing to use on pressure points. That's terrifying. How do you game plan against someone who can beat you in multiple ways? You can't camp on the baseline because she'll drop shot you. You can't come in because she'll pass you. You can't overpower her because her defense is too good. Every strategy has a counter in her game. And now the Alcaraz connection adds another layer. Both are the present and future of their tours, both multiple major winners, both creative and joyful players, and now apparently learning from each other, sharing ideas, and raising each other's level. That's great for tennis, great for fans, and terrifying for opponents. The fact Gauff openly admits she studies Alcaraz and tries to replicate his shots shows intelligence and maturity. Lesser players would be too proud to copy someone else. Gauff doesn't care. She sees what works, studies it, and makes it her own. That's how you maximize potential. Coco Gauff is stealing Carlos Alcaraz's drop shot, ignoring her coach's advice, and winning every point. If you think this makes her unstoppable at the Australian Open, smash that like button. If you think the drop shot is just a temporary weapon, hit subscribe and tell us why. Either way, Gauff just became even more dangerous than ever.